So last week we talked about AIs, the government, and like chips in our necks and everything, and then it kind of just spiraled away from there. But it was pretty interesting. It was just me and Steven, and then he didn't post it because his shirts. He said it added 20 pounds, but he'll post it. So everyone, stay tuned for that. I don't think there are any announcements. He didn't tell me anything. So let's get into it. What do you guys want to start off with? Because I said the end of the world ending, and then you said something about sports. I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I was kind of thinking the same thing when I was looking at like his list, like the end of the world.
Yeah.
But the only reason why I thought it was a good topic is because I don't know if you noticed, but there's always like random stuff around the world happening that's like in the Bible.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of scary, but I just like personally ignore it. So I'm like, okay, yeah. Anyways, and then I keep scrolling on social media.
Okay, for me, like I'm like kind of the same way, but it depends on what's happening. Like if like I get into like the wars and stuff, like the one with Hamas and all that. But if it's like an earthquake, like I'll go past and think it's like another earthquake, or like the I can't even say it out. Like the Euphrates River drying up. I think I'm saying that wrong.
Oh yeah.
But that too, like I actually didn't ignore that. I looked at it a few times, but then I just like I moved on because I was like, it's gonna be like this for a while.
Did you see that?
That's a sign. That's a sign in the Bible. But I think we are coming to a near of the end of the world for sure.
And the wars, like the Russia and Ukraine and stuff.
Yeah. It's insane.
That is still going on.
I know I'm gonna look terrible on this.
Yeah, my hair's like,
it's okay.
I don't know if this is like a good spot.
Yeah.
I keep bringing it up and he doesn't say nothing.
Here. I can't even see it. We look fine. I look stupid now that I just did that, but I think we look fine. But anyway, I don't know. I've seen a whole bunch of TikToks about what people think is on it too, and it's just like crazy what everyone says about it. And like some people just ignore the whole thing in general, like God, and I'm gonna move this away from the wind and all that he's like not bringing, but like doing in the world, and how it literally matches the Bible. And I was like, shouldn't that like inspire people to like be better and like want to follow God, because they're seeing all these signs and people talk about how it's in the Bible, but then they just ignore it. And like, don't you want to like follow him now that you see all this like the true things happening and how it was in the Bible and how these like miracles and miraculous things are happening? If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like most people don't know, like they see it and they don't really know that it's happened in the Bible,
right?
Because a lot of people are like very oblivious, or they just haven't like really looked into it. But the only reason why I notice stuff like this is because, like, you know, I grew up in church, so it's like I hear it every single day almost.
Yeah.
But like not even just like stuff from the Bible, but like, have you seen what's been happening, like polar bears?
Oh yeah, the ice caps melting.
The ice melting. That stuff is like, I don't know, it makes me so sad. And then like just to think that I can only do so much, you know, like not littering like out here, and then like, am I gonna ride my bike everywhere? Probably not. But like, you know, it's like just hard, because I feel like that's the biggest issue, is just like pollution. And then I don't run the mills, so it's like, what am I gonna do?
And like, if we don't have mills, like how are you gonna build stuff? How are you gonna get around? Like that's such a big thing now. Like I was just learning about that stuff in history, like Carnegie and Rockefeller and all of them, and how they made all this stuff. I was like, this is like the start of pollution.
Yeah.
Like, that was literally the start of it. And now we're just on a spiral down.
I feel like that plays a big part in like the end of the world, just because it's like happening so fast.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like technology and advancements and all of that.
They have robots now.
Yeah, like
robots taking people's jobs.
Oh my gosh, that's like insane.
And did you see that thing? And it's like this robot like admitted this robot like admitted that like all of the other ones were planning on taking over humanity. And like, it's just like, that's like so like crazy how like a thing that's like scientifically like made has like the capability of like trying to take over the world.
Like man made that, and that's like their own fault. Like I feel like that we've just made so many mistakes, and it's our own fault. But some of it's not even mistakes. Like people do it on purpose. Like Elon Musk and all of that for making all these new advancements. I feel like this is also like a downfall, and like to build on like the end of the world like coming soon. Have you guys seen like the bunkers they're making? Like, have you heard about them underground? And like you haven't heard about that? Okay.
I don't think I have. Maybe if you like tell me a little bit, it might click. But
so like the new movie on Netflix came out, something about the end of the world. I don't know. It was it was. I haven't watched it because I heard it's really like demonic and everything.
About the one that's like they hacked into like the solar system.
Yeah, so like
I watched it.
I can pull it up and I'll show you. I don't know what it's called, but so it's filmed by Barack Obama. Like he had this whole idea about it, and so it's about like the end of the world coming, like World War III in a sense, but like also a civil war, because other like countries, continents, they teamed up against like the United States. They turned off all communication systems. Like boats started like coming on shore. Everyone started turning against each other. I haven't watched it. This is just what I know about it. Yeah.
With the whole movie, because I watched it. I watched it when it like first came out, and it's like
try and find it.
It's like they somebody hacked into the solar panels like inside space. They hacked into the solar panels and they like rotated them a certain way, so like the animals would like migrate like a different way, and like
a whole bunch of deers.
And then like with the Teslas, like back to like the robots and the Elon Musk thing, like it said that like the Teslas at the end of the movie, it was this family and it like stopped and they meant to like go back to the city where they're originally from, and every single Tesla was like driving itself to the city. It was like a magnet, and they were like all getting magneted or whatever it's called to like a certain thing, and like there was like hundreds and hundreds of Teslas.
I saw that on TikTok.
Yeah, it was so crazy. And then like there's like people kept like turning against each other and like saying like,
here, I pulled it up. You can watch the little ad if you want. Yeah, it's crazy. It's called Leave the World Behind. And like I saw some of those parts on TikTok. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And like it was like, it's called Leave the World Behind, and it's like after that movie was made, a whole bunch of people, of like rich people like that run like basically the United States, like Elon Musk, they started making underground bunkers to hide, and like if this ever actually happens, or like things like this happen, or like World War III or whatever. And I was like, this is like a Bible verse. It's like the day of the Lord will come soon. I don't know it directly, but like the day of the Lord will come soon, and like people like, I don't even know it, like people will go underground and hide, and like I think it's
like the rich.
Yeah, the rich will go underground and hide. I don't know the verse. Like I probably should, but I can't remember it. But it goes something along that, and I'm like, this is literally what's happening right now. Like people are like, they know the end times are coming. They're gonna try and hide, but they can't get away. Like all will bow and say, Lord is Lord. Jesus is Lord.
Today, when I was like evangelizing and stuff, like there was, do you want me to take it or do you want to hold it? Okay. There was I met this girl, and like back like the whole world ending and stuff, and like how you should like have like a good relationship with God before like the world ends and stuff, and like she told me her best friend was a Satanist.
Oh.
And she like supported her, and like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't really think that like being a Satanist should like have started or like anything. Well, like obviously, but like I don't know. With that whole like end of the world situation, like you can be a good person and like this and that, but like yeah, like it just, I don't know. I feel like even if you're like so nice and stuff like that, and you're a Satanist, I feel like you're still gonna go to hell, because like why can you believe in the devil and you can't believe in God?
I mean, I think like people now, they say that that's like a religion, and I'm like, I don't really know like what to say about that, but like I don't know. It's like they do know God is real if they're turning to Satan for this, but in the end, God is the only one that's going to prevail. Like he's the only one that's going to be able to take down the devil, and like because he's the strongest of them all. I was reading a verse in Romans, and it was like only one God is. Let me pull it up. So you guys talk real quick while I pull it up. I want to say it.
I don't know.
I know, like I feel like I don't know if I've met any people that are like Satanists, but like people who I guess don't believe God or like lost their faith. And a lot of it is just like due to depression and just them being at like rock bottom, and they feel like they have no way coming up, so they lose faith completely because they feel like they can only blame God for it, so they go towards something else that's rebellious. And that's why a lot of like teenagers nowadays, they start to rebel just because things aren't going their way. And a lot of times people don't understand that God does put us through lessons so that we can learn things and that we can grow and build more knowledge into life, because that's what life really is. Especially as a teenager, you're gonna go through a lot of stuff, especially in high school, especially like you're going on your phones all the time. Like you're gonna go through a lot of stuff, and it's just really up to you to like determine on God. But more than half the time, I feel like the younger generation falls pretty easily just due to like emotion and not being able to control their emotions, or their parents aren't able to help them in the correct ways that they want them to. And they just end up going to a different direction instead of like trying to find God. But that's just like, I see why, or like how certain people can end up becoming like that, because I've met people like that where they just lose faith.
I was like that like a year ago. That's when I started like coming back to God. Like I grew up in a church too, but I was never like into it. I would just go because my mom would make me. And then like one time like I went to the store, and I was by myself, and some guy came up to me and he told me about God, and he was just like, "Can I just pray for you?" And then when he prayed for me, it was just like, whoa, like I felt something. And then that's when I started getting like more back into it and stuff. And like I met somebody, I grew up with them, and I met like their like true self the other day, and they were talking to me about like God and stuff, and they were asking me questions. And it's like, because that person is like going through a lot, and they have like a lot of depression, and they like wanted to like figure out like, is God even real? Right. And like I like didn't tell him, I like questioned him. I'm like, if God's real, or since God is real, like how did this come about? Or how did this come about? How did they find, like, because they actually found Noah's Ark. So it's like, if they found that, how, like, you can't just explain that out of nowhere,
Can I build off what you said real quick?
Yeah.
So I couldn't find the Romans verse, but I will. Like, I need my actual Bible because I have it, like, highlighted.
Yeah, highlighted.
Yeah. So what you were saying, like the with depression, all of that, I feel like that's something the devil puts in someone, because like we can't see what's coming towards us, only like God can, because he has a plan for us. He knows what's happening, he knows everything. But I feel like depression and anxiety and all that stuff, like it forms into one, and it's just like they're like, it's like demons, like it's literally like demons coming into you. And like when you don't have God to help you with like what's going on, like you can go to church and all that and like go through the struggles of that, but like they're like, if you don't confess to God and like go to actually him like genuinely, truly, with a genuine open heart and mind and like ears to listen, like you're not gonna like get better, but you're gonna keep going down a bad spiral, and it's only gonna get worse, which what you said leads to them turning away and going to like different religions, or like just turning away in general. And like I feel like now, as teens, like so many people go through that because they don't realize like what's actually happening, and like with like God and what he can do for your life, and like what he can put into your like your heart and your mind and your soul, and how he can like truly release you from all of that. And like they just do things like to fill that void, that temporary void that only God can fill. Like in a society like today, I feel like people like they long for relationships, they long for something to make them feel complete, but that feeling can only be satisfied and complete like with God. And when you have that like that void and it's there, and you just turn to drugs, alcohol, that's what's also gonna like send you to that depression, because those are psychedelic things that open the portal to hell, to demons. Like they just keep coming. Like Pastor Ryan was talking about it one Sunday like a while ago. and it's like a psychedelic thing that people don't realize or like is what's happening, and so they'll try and fill the void with that, and they'll just lead like that'll just lead them to depression and wanting more and becoming like addicted to it. And like when you truly have God and when you like confess it all and leave it at his feet, like he'll help you, like those it will like all go away. And I feel like with like society now, like they don't realize that they hear about God, but they don't truly know what he can do for them and how he can help them. Like they can, like I feel like if people truly saw what, other than like, because reading the Bible is a big factor, but if they truly saw with their 2 eyes, if they went to church, someone getting saved right there at the altar, I feel like that would like truly like show them how good God is, you know, like inspire them, I guess, in a way, you know. They
won't really know until they actually personally go through it.
Yeah.
Until they personally go through it. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because it's not really you against the devil, it's you against your own flesh. Yeah. Because, you know, in the beginning in the Bible, they speak about how Adam and Eve, they were just fine, you know. Yeah. Like there's nothing wrong until they got tempted. So that's where that plays in. The devil is just temptation.
Right.
So he's temptation, and you get tempted to take a bite of something that you're not supposed to. You take a bite of something, and then now you see everything clearly, and you see things in a different viewpoint, but that's because of what your flesh just took a bite of, you know? So it's really against you and your own flesh. And a lot of people don't realize that, you know, because they just think, like, I'm just this little, like, pawn. And then, you know, I used to think that a lot, too, like, before, because, you know, I grew up in the faith.
All right. Okay.
That needs to be edited out.
I think we might have to hear. I'm gonna. Should we, like
lock it? Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna build off that real quick and then let you continue. But at my old church, my youth pastor, he was talking about how it's flesh versus spirit. Mm-hmm. Like it's your own flesh versus the spirit, obviously, and like the flesh is what is your temptation. It's like not the devil on you, but like the temptations that are with you, and not what's within, which is what's true. You know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like the more you learn, you know, as you get older, the more you learn about society and you start seeing more things, right? Same with like Adam and Eve. They took a bite of something and they started seeing more things. Yeah. And that's when it just started getting bad. Yeah. Because as a kid, you know, you're fresh, you don't know anything yet. You're very innocent. And then, you know, social media, especially that's like, I feel like social media sucks.
That was that's such a bad downfall.
Like, I feel like my generation was the last generation to experience outside for real.
Are you Gen Z?
Yeah, I'm like the older generation, basically. But I'm 20.
No way.
But yeah, like my generation, we went outside. I never watched TV as a kid. I, you know, like obviously like the little cable stuff, like Curious George and like Wildcat, like, you know, like stuff. Yeah, like stuff like that. And cause I teach children, so I'm a coach, and I'll ask them like, oh, are you gonna? One of the coaches and I were joking with one of the kids. They're like 6 years old. We're like, oh, are you gonna go watch My Little Pony as a joke? And they're like, what's My Little Pony?
No.
And we're like, what? We're like, no way.
Are you for real?
Yes. I'm like, there's no way.
That like broke my heart.
I'm like, no way.
Oh my gosh, like I had little, like when I was growing up, oh my gosh, my mom, I love her. She was like, no, you guys are going outside. Like we would want to be outside because we're just like, me and my sister. Oh, we would want to play Barbies inside, but and it was a hot, nice day, and she's like, no, like you guys are gonna go outside, you guys are gonna play. And then as soon as we got outside, but we would be out there for hours, like we would never want to come inside. And like now seeing people just on their iPads, like little sticky iPad kids.
Oh
like,
yeah.
And like even like my own like people in my grade, people my age, like seeing people just sit on their phones inside is crazy. Like especially on a nice day like this, like little me seeing this would go crazy because I love to be outside. I never wanted to be on my phone. Like even now I feel like I struggle like to stay off my phone, but like I'll say like a lot, oh my gosh, but I I want to be off my phone, but sometimes it's so hard because now that social media is the biggest form of communication, that's the only thing that people talk on. Like, how am I supposed to talk to people if they don't go outside, if we don't hang out, and if like social media is the only way we talk? And like when we were kids, we would only be outside, and that's how we like made friends. That's how we went out and hung out with people. Like, it's just wild now, and people don't know what things are. Like those shows, like, how do you not know what those are?
And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like social media is just evil. Like, just that. Because if you really think about it, like, and I tell this to people all the time, because people ask me, like, if I were, like, the last relationship I was in, I didn't really have social media, and people never understood why. I was really, like, ghost before I started getting on social media and promoting and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But they never understood why. And for me, like, if you really think about it, back in the day, like, say, not even our parents, our grandparents, they didn't have social media, period.
Yeah.
So they didn't have options to look at. They didn't have other people to look at,
Right.
you know, not other guys, not other girls to look at. You know, they can't just meet up with people randomly because they're meeting people on social media, like how they do now.
Yeah.
So, like, this generation, when it comes to love, like, social media has a big part in it. That's why I feel like social media sucks.
Yes, because I want a genuine thing, and how am I supposed to get a genuine thing if I'm meeting someone through social media?
Exactly.
And it's like, I feel like now, like me and Steven were talking about this last week, it's like people are so scared to talk now because social media has ruined it. You only talk on social media when it should be in person, face to face, and it's just like, it's embarrassing because I want to have a face-to-face conversation, but even I'll admit to it, I don't know how to talk without being on social media. Like now I can, but it takes me a second to like really warm up to a person and like start talking. But even then I'm like what do we say? Like, we talked about everything over the phone because we have social media, and I'm like, we could have easily saved this if we had a genuine conversation face to face. And I feel like such meaningful conversations come out of face to face ones, where over the phone you can say something and you're like genuine, you want like a good response, and they just like fake it. Like, they don't actually mean to talk to you. It's all fake.
Yeah, like, yeah, they see you and they're like, okay, like, I'm gonna see what I can get out of this, you know?
Literally.
And I feel like, too, like, you know, you talking about always talking on the phone, that's why a lot of people don't go on dates.
Right.
A lot of people don't go on dates because they're just always on the phone. And the thing, too, like, back in the old generation, if you've ever watched The Notebook, like,
yes.
they don't have phones.
Literally.
They bump into each other in person, and that's the most genuine time that they get.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, you don't really get that because then you're just all on your phone.
Right. And like,
and then when you guys hang out, it's just like,
whatever. And then like, I feel like so many relationships now, they don't go on dates. Like, they just hang out at a person's house or something. And it's like, okay, like, I've never been in a relationship because like I've set such high standards for myself, and I won't lower them until I meet the right person, because no one talks face to face. No one has high standards or values for themselves because they always expect something like over the phone, like something simple, like in The Notebook, things were so high, like morals, values, standards were so high, and like I look up to him, like that guy, who was it, Ryan Gosling that played it, like. They played that out so well, but now I feel like society just lowered all standards, and people like take the bare minimum. Yeah. And it's just like having social media, they accept the bare minimum.
Because it's made easier.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so much easier for people through social media.
And like they don't have the nerves. They don't have the nerves. They have the nerves, and like so it's they get nervous. They don't want to do anything face to face, or like it's made easy for them over the phone, but once they're in person, it's so much harder because of how it was on the phone. And it's just like, I don't know, I feel like
anxiety, I guess, you know. People build anxiety through the phone. And like, okay, so when I was in high school and I was a freshman, I would get like, guys would like hit me up on social media, and I'll be walking like in the hallway, and they'll look at me. And then they walk away.
They don't say anything.
And then they walk away. And I'm just like, okay, that was weird.
Right.
Like, you're not in my messages talking all this, and that.
Right.
And you just looked at me and you're like, okay.
Right. Like,
you're like, and you like walk away.
It's just so, like, what? It's so frustrating. And like, I'm guilty. Like last week I had a really high screen time, and I was like, oh, this is like bad. So I tried staying off my phone more. But it's like, people like they are so reliant on their phones,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, why?
Or just always checking the phone to see if someone texted you.
Right.
You know?
And I'm like for my mom, like I'll get that because she's my mom, and if she's at work, like I'm gonna answer.
Yeah.
But like if it's for something basic and common, like a random person like snapping you, and you're just like, oh, like let me just answer this, like it's just so pointless. And like I guess I'm guilty of that because I can't be a hypocrite and say like don't do that, but I'm doing that. But I
you
don't
just
know.
gotta get busy.
Yeah,
That's really what it is,
I'm such a
busy.
busy person. It's unreal. Like I'm in so many after school things, but I will still make time for my phone when I shouldn't. But like I've been getting better at it. Like I've been forming habits, like Pastor Ryan's been talking about. I've been forming habits so I can get better and stay off my phone. Like the last week, I'll admit, my screen time was 6 hours and 45 minutes, and this week it was 3 hours and like 20 minutes. So like building habits like and like sticking with them actually helps. Like you have to have that motivation. I feel like through this week, as I was building those habits after I realized how bad it was, like I feel like the Spirit has really motivated me to like be better because of how like disappointed I was when I saw that. And I don't know, yeah.
Trust me, I'm on like TikTok 24/7.
I doom scroll.
Yes.
I had to delete TikTok because it was like getting bad.
Oh my gosh. I go on Instagram Reels a lot too.
Yeah, that's what got me too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a
I just
problem.
like, I don't know. I guess for me, like, I just like to laugh, so I find
Yeah.
almost everything funny.
Me too.
And people think like they're like, you're such an unserious person. And I'm like, well, my dad always taught me there's a time to joke and there's a time to
yeah.
be serious, you know? Like I get that, but like I don't know why I could laugh about everything
Yeah.
and not like, you know, either be offended or get mad about something, you know, because some people will post stuff that I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, and then I keep going.
Right.
You know, but like I'm guilty of going through TikTok
can
like
walk
crazy.
across.
We'll probably just edit it out.
I don't
Or
know,
Steven. Yeah. Steven will edit it.
He's probably gonna leave it.
Our editor
Nice.
Steven.
Shout
Brother
out.
Pastor Steven. That's what I
Promo.
call him. Brother Pastor. Yes.
Steven is so random. Shout out Steven. You're gonna
Shout
see
out
this, but
Steven.
you're really random. He is. I'll say that. Anyway.
Oh, Steven.
Like he's just every Sunday morning he says the most absurd things to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like stop. If he tells people this, they're actually gonna look at me like I'm weird. I can't even say the things he says. I refuse.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just like,
No, he's a funny guy.
He is.
Like
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's why I got so comfortable here because like I can actually be like free here. You know
yeah.
what I
Oh
mean?
my gosh, yeah.
The church that I went to was extremely strict, and that's why I stopped going to church. And you know, I lost my faith when I was like 15 years old, and like you know, I would get pinched, like just for not listening, or like you know, I couldn't say certain things, you know, or I got bossed around, like people, like adults telling me, oh, go do that and go do that and go do that, like if I was like an animal, you know. So it was just like very, just coming in here for the first time when I first came in here, like. It felt very at home and
Yeah.
like welcoming and free, and that's
Yeah.
what I really like about this church. This church is pretty awesome. Like I could joke, like all the young adults that I go to group with, like, and when we text, we send each other like funny TikToks, and like, you know, I
Yeah.
can actually freely send TikToks to, yeah, without
I
getting
feel-
judged.
I feel the same way. Like my old church, love them still. They weren't like that, but like this one is like different. Like it's like that was my home, but this one just feels homier.
This
you
is
know
like
what I'm saying?
family,
Yeah.
more family.
Like the kids there, they're my best friends. But like here, like even like the older people, they still like are like comforting people. Like they'll still like talk to you no matter what. Like, yeah, it's like homier. It's like more comfortable.
My first time coming to this church, a random lady came up to me and gave me a hug, and like
yes, that
it felt
happened to
so
me.
like awesome
I
to
was
like
like,
know.
ma'am, ma'am.
Or like when the first time I came to this church, I was wrestling manager for a year, and then my wrestling coach comes here. Oh, me too. It's so awesome. And my wrestling coach told me about the youth, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So I came here, and then that's when I met McKenna.
Yeah.
And then Paisley and Lily, I've known them for a little bit, and it just like felt nice to know that like I have people here, and I haven't even been coming here for long. Like it's been like what, 3 months? Yeah, it's been like 3 months.
I think I started coming here in December, but like obviously today's my first day like in
At youth.
at youth.
Yeah.
But with like, you know, the young adults,
Yeah.
I've been there for Stephen kept asking and asking after Sunday service, and I'd be like, I can't make no promises, bro. Like, because I had work.
Right.
But for some weird reason, by the grace of God, my boss didn't schedule me for any Thursday.
Nice. That's great.
For the month, and I was like, this has to be a sign. I'm
It
gonna take this
is.
as a
It
sign, and I'm
definitely
gonna
is.
go. And the first day I came here, I was like crying the whole day. So, like I was really feeling it, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I haven't cried in such a long time. Like this feel like I hated crying, but now I don't mind it at all. Like I'm just like, okay, this is normal.
Yeah.
Like I've always like, you know, always try to bottle up or like, you know, hide my emotions, but just sitting here, I could like, I'll cry and no one really cares.
Right,
Like,
exactly. That's how
they're
I
just
really
like,
love.
they're like, you're good, bro.
It's okay. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, so I started coming here like late October, I think, early November. I like loved my youth in my old church. Like I was so involved, and then I was so nervous to come here because like nerves, obviously. Like I'm good with new people, but like having no one there to start off with, because my old one I had my cousin and my sister with me,
Mm-hmm.
and like even my sister hasn't gone, but like still having someone I know there was comforting, and so I had to start over. And like I obviously knew people, I wasn't close with them though, but like it's just like over time you grow that comfortability, and like knowing that you can cry without like being judged. Like I bottle it up at home because I don't like being seen, like I don't like to cry and like people see me. It's just a thing I have, I don't know. But like at church I feel like I can just let it out, like all of it out, and people are like, okay,
Right.
like whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's
don't know
okay.
why. Like at church, I feel fine crying.
Yeah.
You know, and like so, I actually did go to my old church yesterday because my old church is Seventh-day Adventist, so we go on Saturdays. And so I went just because I promised my mom I'd go. And you know, when she asked me, she was like, "Are you gonna come with me to church?" And I was just like, you know, and I was like, ugh. And then I had to think about it, and I was like, wait, I promised. I was like, yeah, I'll go with you. I was like, what time are we supposed to go? You know, I went, and there's just little stuff that reminded me on why I stopped going. But, you know, after the service and everything, and I was talking to, like, you know, the younger adults. They're not that young, but they're, like, around their 30s,
Yeah.
late 20s, you know. They're telling me, they're like, you look so much happier. Like, you look
That's
brighter.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And they're like, how's the new church treating you? And I'm like, it's great. And they're like, oh, that's wonderful. And then I'm just telling them about how good it is. And they're like, oh, that's awesome. They're like, are you still going to the Thursday group? And I was like, yeah, I am. And they're like, oh, that's great. Because, you know, when I left, they just, like, they realized, like, they're like, oh, she's done. Like,
Yeah.
they thought I was never, like, coming back to God. And they're, you know, they're just like, but one day. And so when they see me walk in, the pastor's wife, like, started crying. And she was like, she's like, oh, my God. And I was just like, oh, what's up? Like, I was just like, hey, like, nothing, you know?
Right.
But they just took it as, like, such a big deal.
yeah.
And I was like, I feel like Hollywood right now. Like,
Oh
I'm
my
like, you guys
gosh.
are really treating me like I'm famous or something. I was like, this does not feel right. But I'm going to let you guys have it.
Right.
I'm going to let it slide.
Right.
Like,
I was talking to my old pastor the other day, and they were like so I might go to see them, obviously, but they were like the same thing. Like they were like, we really miss you. Like we wanted you to come back, like just for like a few times, just to see everyone and talk to everyone. They were just asking about the church, how I like it, and I was just like, I like it. Like it's like my home now. Like I love coming here. Like I look forward to it every single week. And like no hate to my other church, but like I love this church so much.
right. Like I feel like and I was telling Steven too on Thursday, because he was talking to us about like, he's like, when you decide to have kids, like how would you raise them? Like would you be strict or would you be more lenient? And then I talked about how I don't believe in marriage. But like that
What do you mean you don't
that-
believe in marriage?
Like
I
that
wa-
was
I
a
wa-
whole topic. Like that was a whole topic we talked about. I was like, marriage isn't even on my mind. Like,
Oh yeah.
you know, I was like, it's not on my mind, but like if I were to get blessed one day, you know, then of course, like, but I was like, I'd probably be more like my dad. My dad was more lenient. He was very sweet. He talked to me very nicely. He's never laid a hand on me, like, ever.
Right.
My dad spoiled me. He took care of me. Like, you know, whatever I wanted, he would get up and run and get it. So it's like, I feel like I would be more like that. But then again, I don't know what the future holds because I'm a female. So who knows what my emotions will be like after having children, you know?
Yeah.
Like, who knows? I really don't know. But, like, and then that too, I was like, I feel like, you know, before I found my way back to God, I didn't, like, if I were to have kids, I was like, I wouldn't bring my kids to church. Like, I didn't like church, you know? But now I'm like, this is where I would bring my kids.
Yeah.
I was like, this is home. I was like, I would totally bring my kids here. Like, I feel like this is a safe place. Like, you know,
100%.
everyone's welcoming. As soon as you walk in, good morning,
Right,
good morning.
yeah.
You know, you get hugs, people are talking to you. It just feels good.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. Yeah. So I want to ask you about this. Like, what do you not like? For you don't believe in marriage, like you don't like want it right, like you don't want it right now, but like in the future, or like you're just waiting, like in general.
You know, like I was just like naturally, I'm just like, I just don't find any, like, you know, I can find people beautiful. Like, you know, I'll see someone beautiful but not be interested in them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't find interest in a lot of people naturally, like with guys and relationship wise, you know?
Yeah.
And I started leaning towards, like, since I am finding my way back to God and, you know, reading my Bible more, I want to just focus on loving him first and just relying on the fact that he will bring me someone at some point when the time is right. Because at the end of the day, like, he did specifically made someone for me, you know? Like, my standards aren't too high. He made someone specifically for my standards.
Right. Yeah.
So there's no point of me dating around or meeting people. Because, like, obviously, like, he already knows my whole life before I was even born.
Right.
So, like, why will I go out and, like, entertain anybody when I know that God has someone specifically for me? And I'm not all the way there yet with, like, you know, I haven't fully known God the way I want to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting there, you know? But the way I seen it is just, like, when it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
But, like, you'll know.
You'll know.
Because, like, in a relationship, you're not supposed to be anxious. You're not supposed to question if this person is for me.
Exactly.
You'll know.
You'll know.
You know, like, God knows. And he'll put that person in your path. And obviously, every person that has been in my life, like, any guy related, like, that was not my person.
Right.
Those were all lessons.
Yeah.
And I've only had 2 boyfriends my whole life.
So. And, like, I feel like people are just there, like, some people are just there for seasons, you know?
Yeah.
Like, to help show you, like, I don't know, like, what's...
And your own character development, because I can't say like, my first relationship, I was, like, 13. I had no idea how to treat a guy. Like, you know, I could take accountability for the fact that, you know, I didn't know what I was doing. I was a kid.
Right.
You know, so it's like character development, and he puts people into your path for that exact reason, for
100%.
character development. So you can know the kind of person that you're supposed to be when you meet the right person.
Right. And, like, I feel like go back to the season thing and, like, the character, like, I feel like people are there in seasons to show you, like, how, if they're a bad boyfriend or, like, it's a bad friendship, to show you, like, what to not, like, look for in a way, or, like, what to not stand by in a way, and, like, to stand up for yourself in certain things, like, even if it's just a friendship, like if they're not meant to be there, or they're a season, like, you can pray about it. And, like, if they're not meant to be there, like, just pray them out. But if it's, like, a season, they'll show you, like, I feel like God uses those seasons to show you what people, like, to grow from them, and to show you not to be like not to be like that, but, like, not to be like that, to help your character, like you were saying. But, like, I don't know.
I feel like the biggest gift that God can give you is wisdom.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
my gosh.
You are going to go through so many things, and you're going to learn so many things to be the person that he wants you to be, or that you're supposed to be, not the person that you want to be. And even then, like, if there's someone that you specifically want to do something, pray about it. He's going to put you through those trials to get you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's for.
Right.
And that's why when a lot of people are, like, upset, like, oh, like, this isn't working out for me. Well, maybe it's not working out for a reason.
Right. And it's like, because things, they don't go, like, on your path. It's God's path. So if it's something you really want, but it's not for you, you can't force that into your life. Because if you're forcing that thing into your life, that relationship, that thing you want, like, I don't know, like, whatever. Like, it's not going to work out if it's not from God, because God has that plan for you.
And he'll guide you in the right direction.
Yeah. And so
without you knowing.
Exactly. And like, he'll take like those seasons, those trials, those tests. He'll put you through those if he really thinks like can you handle, like, he'll never put you through something you can't handle. And so like, I feel like that's such a good thing, because if like I don't even know how to word this, because like, he's not the God that will put you through something if you're not going to be able to handle it. Like, he knows what your limitations are. He knows he knows everything about you, like, even more than we know ourselves. And so he's not going to do something that's going to like screw you over or send you the wrong direction, like go spiraling away from him, going to someone who's not for you, like wanting something that's not for you. And like, I just think that's like so like meaningful and powerful that we have such a loving God like that, you know?
Because our young adult group, we had Steven made this little game where we had to write down what we wanted to be as a kid.
Yeah.
So mine was therapist. And obviously I was going through a lot at that time, so I wanted to help other people because I felt like I couldn't help myself. But eventually, and I think about how crazy it is, because I've been through, like, I played soccer for 11 years, I've always been active and just outside, you know, and then I started working out. I've been in the gym for 6 years, and never in my life would I think that the career path that I took would have, like, be where I'm at, because, you know, I'm a soccer coach now. And never in my life did I think that. I thought I would be a therapist.
Right.
You know, so it's like, he does put you through certain things that lead you to where you're gonna, you know, your actual passion's gonna be.
Yeah.
And like, same with like working out. I'm in school for personal training, so it's like, he does put you through certain things and trials and tribulations to get where you are supposed to be at, you know, like your contribution to society, basically.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I contribute to society. And that's why I take, like, usually people will tell me, like, I don't understand why I'm going through this, and I'm like, just wait,
yeah.
just wait, because I used to hate when people would tell me, like, oh, God has a plan, and I'd just be like, what plan? Like, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, why is this happening to me? And then I would start realizing, like, okay, like, he's sending me into a different direction for a reason, because what I thought I wanted isn't what I really want.
Right.
And now that I'm seeing what I really want, it's all making sense now.
Yeah.
You know, it all ends up making sense at some point.
I would get like mad, like whenever somebody said that, like, I would get like mad whenever like somebody would be like, God has a plan for you, and then it would stay in my head. And like after that, like
why?
Yeah, like what is his plan? Like, why am I going through this if he has such a big plan? And then like, now that I'm like realizing like why he did that, and like why like God like put those people in my life to tell me that, is like because he really does have a plan. And like, I got baptized recently. I don't know if you were at the thing, but yeah, I got baptized recently. And like, while I got baptized, like, back to that whole relationship thing, I was in a relationship, and we were really healthy and things, but I knew that like something in the back of my head just kept telling me that he was not the right one for me. So the weekend that I got baptized,
the power of discernment, that's another gift that he gives you.
And it's like, after I got baptized, like the boy who I was dating did like try to like do things with me, literally right after I got baptized. at right here, we were literally in the lobby.
No.
And I was like, yeah,
You're
no.
like, sir,
Yeah, I literally said,
back up off me.
I said, yeah, no. And then we went to the mall after I got baptized, and he was trying to get me to watch this like show, and the show is literally off of the devil. Like, literally, it's like this it's like the devil's daughter, and like it's like a cartoon. They try to make it look like a kids movie and things. And he made me sit there and watch it, and like, when I tried to like turn away or something, he would like put it in my face. And like, because I didn't make him, but I asked him to come to church with me multiple times.
Okay.
And he would be like, yeah, I just want to spend time with you, blah 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 blah. And then every single time I would like be in like the sanctuary, like listening to the pastor, he would like try to tap on me and be like, let's go over here, like, let's talk, I need to talk to you, blah 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 blah. And it's just like, no, I want to pay attention.
That's,
you know?
a distraction at that point.
Yeah.
He's just a distraction. And that's like, you know, of course, like, even when you find God, like, I feel like there's gonna be tests
Mhm.
We're like, all right, let me see how much you love me.
Yeah.
You know, like let's see how devoted you're becoming.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's like, so it's like, to like tag along with that. It's like,
oh yeah, we finna get busy.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Crap. Wait, what were you saying before?
I was talking about how sometimes there is like tests out there that God.
So okay, I remember now. So it's like there's tests for, I feel like the tests for different things, like idolizing, and like so like you were saying, like if you like truly love me, like I wouldn't say like if you truly love me, but if you like love me, if you prioritize me over like how much you say your heart's genuine, do this, like give up this for me because you're spending way too much time. Like I'm not my friend, I'm not gonna like name drop or anything, but they were telling me, they were like, I felt like God was convicting me, like I was doing too much like on this, and I wasn't spending much time with him like I should be, when I could be doing something productive, reading my Bible, spending time with him, or even going outside and doing something, hanging with my friends, talking to my family. So I gave that up because I felt like I was idolizing or prioritizing that actually. And I was like, that's like what he does. Like it's like conviction obviously, but it's like he gives us
Just
he
that
gives
loud
us-
screeching.
I know, right? Do you
And
need
it-
help?
It doesn't end.
It's like
I don't know where I should put this stuff.
what's it for?
We're gonna play soccer.
Soccer.
There's
Soccer.
like buckets.
There's like field.
Yeah, but then we're all separated. The buckets. I was gonna put people I don't like in these buckets.
Nice.
So,
People are-
You're so funny.
we'll probably use them as goals for football games.
There's not
Okay.
is there another net? Like soccer net?
No,
Did when the hang did.
it's not good enough.
No.
We could play World
Just
Cup.
kidding.
What?
Oh, I love
World
World
Cup.
Cup.
Yeah, I think we should play World Cup.
World Cup.
My only like, Trish, you don't like soccer, do you?
I played soccer.
You do play soccer.
She said, "I know something
So
that you don't
everybody here in
know."
this space right now plays soccer.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
Look what we've done.
Look, Jesus has brought us
We
together.
basically have a soccer team right here.
Basically.
Actually, we don't have a real soccer team.
Literally.
We play indoor soccer.
Dude,
We
I
should.
wish.
Let's make a team.
I'll even play in the summer.
Let's do it.
We'll play a summer league.
Let's do it.
Co-ed.
Yeah, let's do it.
We can be the juicy fruits or something.
Juicy fruit.
Jizzy, what did you say earlier? What was your guys' new group called? Juice Box.
Yeah, juice box.
There you go. Juice Box.
This is called Juice Talk.
What? Welcome to the Juicy Talk.
And our slogan is stay juicy.
Stay juicy. You still have to say that when we end this video, by the way, guys.
That was the end right there.
Yeah, basically. All right, guys. Well, I don't even know where we ended off at.
We were talking about like tests that God
Oh,
puts
yeah.
out. Like yeah.
Does anyone want to build off of that?
Yeah.
I think like with the test things, I think we have two choices. And I feel like some of us like think that like the choice that like is bad, we like go towards that choice and is like, wait, hold on. What? Thank you. But
What?
I was so confused. Like everyone just started laughing. I'm like, but I feel like we have two choices, and like some of us like think that the choice that's like bad is like the way that like is good because we want it to be good.
Oh.
Like we
Easy.
yeah
It's easy to obtain.
yeah, and we want to go that way because we think that it's like.
I'm like blocking the air. Sorry.
Oh, thank you so much. And like, but I don't know. I feel like most people, they try to like get away from like the truth, and they try to like go for like something that they think that they should do, when in reality they should go for like what they should be doing instead of what they want to do, because in the end we all know that like everything we want is gonna come to us, but we just have to like wait it out.
Basically, stop living worldly and start
yeah.
living spiritually, godly.
So like
That's where it's at.
what you were saying, like the two options, like everyone, like not everyone obviously, but people like they do go for that the bad thing that's for not for them, and like
right,
you
you
were saying,
against your own flesh.
Yeah. So like you were saying, everything comes like if you want, you just gotta wait it out. But I feel like even then, like some things you want, they don't come to you because it's not for you, like you were saying earlier,
Or
and,
you're
like,
just not ready yet.
yeah, or you're just not ready because like we have seasons for a reason, like waiting seasons with people, seasons with things like sports, for example, churches, even schools, whatever, and works. Like I'm just naming off things that I know. But like I don't even know where I was going with this. I just lost my thought. Oh my gosh, what was I saying?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Oh yeah, the two ways, like the seasons. Wait, give me a second. What the heck?
You against your own flesh.
Yeah. What was I? Oh, the things that we want. Like it comes eventually, but if we're ready and if it's for His own path and what He has for us, because if it's not for like from Him, it's not gonna come our way. Like we could want this boy all we want, but he's not coming.
Oh yeah,
He's not coming.
trust.
Yeah.
That's why I like, got to the point where like there's this one time, like before I stopped going to church, when I was with my he wasn't my first boyfriend, but my first like actual boyfriend, because my first boyfriend didn't even speak a word to me. He just sat there.
Oh.
And like he was just present. So I was just like,
That's awful.
all right, yes, he was just there to look pretty, basically. Right. But yeah, so my first boyfriend, the one that would actually speak to me verbally, like I would always pray, like, God, please let me marry this guy, like please, and like that did not happen. He does not like me. Like
He's picked that up so many times.
I know. At this point, just like leave it.
Right.
But yeah, like, I would pray and pray, like, God, please, like, I know this is him. And then it's just like, that went south. And obviously, like, I had to learn, there's a cat. Come here, kitty.
Aww.
I gotta bring it home.
Are you guys done?
Almost. Like,
Pretty
give us like
much.
5 minutes.
Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes.
Let me add on to this and then I'll be done.
Why don't you go
Like-
get that?
Yeah, I'll fix it.
Yeah, the cinder block. Why don't you just put the cinder block on it?
So, all the way at the garage door. So, all the way by the garage
Look
door.
straight. Look like
You can go all the way over there.
Yeah.
Skateboard. So,
On the skateboard.
So-
He said, all right.
I'm gonna add this and then we can just end it. So,
Alright.
like prayer is such a good thing, a strong thing. So every time I've talked to someone, I've literally prayed them out. Like I was
Ay.
like, if they're not for me, take them out, and they've been gone. Like
That's where
I
I'm at
prayed
for
that
sure.
prayer. Yeah.
That's where I'm at now, because I used to pray to keep people in my life. And now I'm like, God, if this person's not for me,
Take them out.
please
We remove them.
don't even like bother.
Like-
Please, because smart.
That was the first. That was like the first prayer that like when I came here. That was the first prayer that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we.
That was the first prayer that I prayed with the youth group. Was if he is not right for me, take him out of my life, and he got taken out of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm actually like honestly thankful because I know that was for like a purpose, And actually, when he got taken out of my life, so much backlash came to me that like his new girlfriend even texted me arguing with me, and I didn't even know her. So it's like I shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place, and like I'm so glad that I got out while I did, instead of waiting and not listening to what I should have done.
Right.
You should have been like, God loves you, have a blessed one. And
Oh
then,
my gosh,
and
yeah.
block her. They
I
hate that.
went up to her in school because she came into my classroom and she gave me a dirty look, and I looked at her and said, Jesus loves you. And she literally.
God bless.
People don't like that. Like, people who don't have God in their life, or like, are struggling to find him, and like, they just have so much hatred and like jealousy in their heart, like that really irks their like it really irks them, and they're just like
Right,
like,
yeah.
and it's just like, there's nothing else I could say for you but pray that you heal your heart.
Yeah.
For sure. But God for sure has a way. He has a plan. And it will work out.
Yeah.
You'll see, like 10 years from now, you won't even remember it. Like, I would have never thought I'd be here. Like for me, I would
Yeah.
have never thought the position that I'm in right now, never would I thought I'd
Right.
be in it.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
he for sure has a plan.
Gotta plan.
Just gotta be patient. You gotta have faith, and that's where faith comes in. That's why I really liked Pastor Ryan's sermon today.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He talked
it was
about
good.
faith, and I was like, oh yeah, this
Yeah.
is this stuff right here.
Right,
I was like writing everything he was saying.
right. I got my notebook. I was like,
Yup, this is it.
got it.